Hey, it's Norm from Tested.com. I'm here at New York Comic Con at Triforce's booth. Now, Matt Marone, you're the CEO of Triforce. It's a relatively new company, but you make high-quality prop replicas, not for movies, but for video games.
Yes, sir. So we've been around since 2008, and since then, we've been creating full-scale prop replicas as well as statues and busts of some of the most popular video games.
Right, you guys specialize in creatures, right, characters, armor, weapons, helms even.
Yeah, so currently, we got in front of us the evolved Goliath statue. This is a perfect example of a creature statue we do. We do full-scale props from some of the most popular video games, Mass Effect, Gears of War, and one that we're very proud about is Halo, which we just signed, as well as other collector's editions for video games. So not only do we create statues from the game, but when you go out to your local retailer or buy online, you could buy one of our statues with the game as well.
Wow. So we know a lot of prop makers who, in their own time, they make helms, they make weapons, they make armor.
We got some of them here right now.
Is that how this idea started, where people were just making their own Gears of War weapons, making their own Mass Effect weapons?
Pretty much. Our co-founder, Rob, is a big fan of Gears of War when they first started to come out in the late 2000s, I guess you call it. And he wanted a realistic Lancer, something that didn't actually shoot and hurt people, but there wasn't something like that for video games as there is for movies for decades.
Sure.
And that's really how the company started. He wanted something for himself, but at the same time for the fans, because there wasn't anything like that out there before.
So what's that process like? Because from a movie, there was an original prop. You can find photos, you can find schematics. Someone actually made the one-to-one. In a video game, even if we're talking about a last-gen game, there was a polygonal model, maybe different ones for different scales. So where do those assets come from, and how does that sculpting process begin?
So we're a dev-friendly studio. I mean, first things first is all of the creatures, all of the prop replicas that we make are 100% to scale and 100% accurate to the game. We don't make our version of it because as a gamer, I eat, sleep, work, and play video games. I'll notice if it's someone else's version of it. So to answer your question, we're a very dev-friendly studio. What we do is we work with those teams to get the high poly models, the ZBrush, the Max files, texture wraps to ensure that the things that we're creating are 100% to the game. Now, it's a little bit different because it's 1080p, not real life. So there is a little bit tweaking, but we have to get the approvals because we're an officially licensed company from, for instance, 2K and Turtle Rock Studios to make sure that this scale, the proportion to the rocks and the bones is 100% accurate.
And that's something I think game developers are becoming more aware of when they're making their designs. When they create textures, when they create models, they're doing it more than they need for the game because they know there's going to be a fan base out there that's going to build on that community. Right. Now, do you guys have your own sculptors that actually sculpt them? Yeah,
we have our own in-house sculptors. We have our own 3D artists. We have our own concept artists as well, because a lot of these got to come from pen and paper. So yes, we have our own in-house team.
Is it a digital process? Are you prototyping with like 3D printers and?
Yeah, we completely sculpt within ZBrush, MaxMind, depending on the files that we receive. Even if it's a dot object, we actually have to tweak it. We go to a prototyping phase. Once the prototype comes out, which is generally about 3 to 4, maybe 5 weeks, depending on how intricate it is. Then from there, we go into casting, molding, and then paint revisions.
So it's then the traditional molding and casting process for production, for like a polystone statue, break it out into several parts, create molds for that.
Yeah, this isn't one big statue.
Exactly.
There's about 30, 40 pieces of this beast right here,
And then for the weapons and the armors and stuff, the paint job is a big part of it, right? They're made to display, and so you have a team of artists that just work on painting, replicating what the game intends.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. We actually, since you said movies and TV before, a lot of our workers have a VFX background from the movie and television world as well. Some of them worked with Aliens, Predator, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that is a very especially crucial part to the piece, because if he's not this grayish, brownish color, if he's purple, obviously there's something wrong there.
Yeah, and then for the helmets you have, I know you have a Deathstroke helmet, you got a Batman helmet. Those are wearable, or they're only for display?
They are not wearable, though some things may change in the future. But as of right now, they are static pieces. There are pieces that come with it. So for our Deathstroke Arsenal, it's the helmet. It does come with the sword and a full-scale baton, which is about 6 feet long.
Awesome. And these are limited release, or you guys are doing them? Like what kind of quantities if people wanted to pre-order?
They're limited release. They're anywhere between 500 to 1,000 units worldwide. So for instance, this piece is the Evolve Goliath Premier Scale Statue, 500 pieces. The New York Comic Con exclusive, which is next to it, only 150 pieces. So it does range. They're limited edition art collectibles we'll go with.
Cool. I love that you're using modern technologies for prototyping while incorporating some of that traditional stuff as well.
You still got to be traditional when it comes to these things, because this can't get printed like this. You got to get in there, sand it down. You're going to have to sculpt around it just to make sure it's 100% accurate. So it is a little bit of both.
So if you've ever wanted a Gears of War Lancer, or Mass Effect pistol, Mass Effect rifle,
M8 we did the Gears of War Lancer. We're going to be doing some prop replica guns from Halo, from Evolve, a big green arrow arsenal from Injustice, bow and arrow. It's we do a lot of those cool things.
Very cool. Thanks for bringing this stuff to New York Comic Con and showing it off in person.
It's our backyard. We love coming here every year. It's always fun, new, and exciting, and tiring.
Sounds like my job. You'll find more of that stuff, more exciting stuff on Tested. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Check out their stuff, projecttriforce.com, and check out our stuff on Tested.com. See you next time. Bye.